Good morning, Magic. I'm Gavin Verhey from Wizards of the Coast, and a funny thing happened today. I was checking out the comments on my Prerelease Primer YouTube video, thank you all for watching, and a lot of people were asking, hey, where's the sealed deck build? I loved watching you build your sealed deck, which is so funny to me, because I was like, well, I don't know if anyone's enjoying this piece or not, and I kind of want to streamline the primer. I'll keep it to just what a Prerelease is, and looking at the insert, opening it up, and then talking about the archetypes, and just cut out the deck building portion. But a lot of you were like, hey, it actually is really helpful, which is really good to know. So I even still have my Prerelease pack right here, the same one I used, Prerelease card that I opened up and everything. And I'm going to open up these packs now and build the deck for you. It's going to be unedited. You'll see my exact thoughts as I'm going through it. So if what you want is to really dive into sealed deck building with me, we can just hang out for probably, I don't know, a half hour or so. You know better than I do. You can see at the bottom of the screen how long this video is going to be. And then we'll find out together how the pre-release deck ended up turning out. So let's do it. Let's get into it. Here we go. Alrighty. So first of all, we have this cool pre-release card, which is pretty good. As a reminder, it's Rhea of Vor here. It's cool battle cry cards. Keep that in mind for white-black. We're going to crack open these 6 booster packs and see what we find. Now, as I'm looking through these, the first thing I do is I always crack open all my packs at once. Some people ask why I do that, and the reason why it's actually good for your local game store. I know people love the suspense of looking to see what the rare is. You can still kind of do that if you just leave them in order, but it's great for your game store if they can pick up all the trash right away. The judges, your game store owner, whatever, just getting that trash off the table. Let's make everyone's experience a little bit cleaner and better. So, just a ritual I've long had that I do, and so take these. Goodbye, put them over here. Imagine that's some great game store owner picking those up for you. Okay, now I'm going to sort them by color here. And the way I sort, I've actually got some funny notes about this in the past, but the way I sort is I do each color one at a time. I often pull out the basic land because it's easy, and the token because they're always together. But I just like sorting that way because, I don't know, I think it's faster? I could be wrong about that. It just always feels faster to me. But, do whatever works for you. Sometime I'll have to do like a goofy video that's just comparing sorting methods and just being like, okay, well, what's actually the fastest way of doing it? So we'll sort all these out here. And really things that I'm going to be looking for here in a second once I start looking through my cards is I'm going to be looking for what my strongest cards are, where my removal spells are, what good evasion do I have, do I have any bombs I want to play. Now, one big bomb is not a sole reason to move into a color, okay? I think a lot of people see some really strong rare or something and get locked in on, okay, well, I have to play that rare. It's pretty big trap to do that. It can be right sometimes, like if the rare is super strong, and of course if you have enough support. But you're only going to draw that rare sometimes, and it does not make your whole game plan. Plus, if it gets destroyed or something like that, it's going to be, you're going to feel really silly for trying to get it in your deck there. Ooh, I see a Phyrexian Arena there. Black here, red. Ooh, that's good. That Dragon Scale guy. Good looking red here. I guess I should probably put the spell bombs in with red. I think you can play them if you're not playing red, if you just need to cycle for a card. But a lot of the times you won't do that. So there are some rare exceptions. Put all my gold cards over here. And I want to make sure I keep all the cards on the screen. If anything falls out of the screen, I apologize. Or falls off the screen, I apologize. I'm trying my best to keep it on the screen for you all. It's a red card, green cards. Oh, which go into the stack I'm holding. Here's another gold card. Okay. I think this can move over. Perfect. Goodbye. All these cool lands and tokens. They're nice, but I won't need you right now. Okay. So, I didn't even really look at my cards that much while I was sorting them. So now we'll kind of go through with fresh eyes and see what we got. So I'll start just color by color here. First thing I noticed with white is it's just really light. There's only I count 8 whole white cards in the pool. Now I think often people see that and they're like, okay, well that means I can exclude white. Well, it's not necessarily true because you only might end up playing 8 cards of a color in your final deck of a good 2-color deck anyway. So if all the cards are strong, you can still end up playing that color. Plus you've got a few gold cards too. I see we've got 3 white gold cards here. So let's see what we got. We have Hexhold Hoverwings, which is pretty good. It makes a 4-mana 3/2 flyer, so Assault Griffin. It's a fine card. Sinew Dancer is kind of a slow tapper, but good if you get to Corrupted. And Scissor Glider, which is very good if you're corrupting people. 2-mana 1/3 is okay otherwise. It's not amazing. It's not bad. It is good if you're going in the Go Wide Artifact deck. This removal spell is okay. It does hit equipment and stuff. I'm not like super huge on it or anything. It's medium combat trick. Another one of these removal spells. This is kind of a medium 1/1 creature. You usually won't play that. A fine 2-drop. And then this guy. Okay, so, despite what I just said, I was trying to keep our options open. Really nothing here in white I'm like that thrilled about. The card I'm most excited about is probably this Hexgold Hoverwings. And then, of course, my gold cards. I've got Rhea of Vor and Vivisection Evangelist as two pretty cool two pretty cool white, black, gold cards. So I'm going to keep that in mind. I've also got the Slaughter Singer in case I were to go green. So I'll keep that in mind. Maybe I end up splashing for one of those. But I'm not feeling really good about my white here. And, there's no real strong removal. There's 2 Vanish into Eternity, but 6 mana. I mean, removal's removal, but 6 mana removal is, even at instant speed, is you're paying a hefty toll, right? You have to spend your whole turn removing their thing. It's really is a blow to your tempo and a blow to setting up your game plan. Only good in like slow control decks. Okay, so blue, we got Spell Bomb, which is good, right? This is basically Repulse, Sorcery Repulse with the option to cantrip it. You can pay it over multiple turns. I like the Spell Bomb. This Misstep is not for this. I'm just going to toss that over here somewhere. It's not for this format. Great card for constructed formats, but not a lot of mana value 1 or less things. Your opponent might not have any in their deck. This is a pretty medium combat trick. I'm not huge on it. I like this 2/5 fine. This card I like. Yeah, I love things that just cantrip into something else, and it hits for some damage. You can put equipment on it. It's kind of nice. This is a strong card for the artifact strategy, right? It's even 4-mana 2/4 ETB loot, still totally solid on its own. And the fact it gets better from there is really nice. Another one of these Watchers. This is a solid rare. It's a basically clone, a 3-mana clone that copies one of your own creatures that you can then shift around as the game goes on. Oops, sorry, I've got the card all the way over here. That you can shift around as the game goes on, so that's a solid equipment. Divination, that might get cost reduced later, is nice, but like a Divination. If you want the artifact strategy, this is a solid card. It does do the Scry 2 right away too, so it's not amazing, it's not bad. If you're having enough artifact fall, it's good. 5-mana draw 3. I love a 5-mana draw 3. I love playing just a long game in general, so this card definitely appeals to me. Trawler Drake is nice. This is a 3-mana 1/1 flyer that gets bigger whenever you cast a non-creature spell. So that's pretty solid. Really liking what I'm seeing here in blue. It also synergizes well together. There's this Anatomist. We've got a Raptor, which comes with oil counters, 3-mana 1/4. And then there's this Glistener Seer, this card's okay. It's fine. It's not amazing, not bad. Okay, I like my blue a decent amount. Let's take a look at our black. The reason why I like my blue so much, I've got some good evasion, I've got some flyers, I've got things that go well together. I've got one pretty decent rare here in the Blade of Shared Souls. I've got a good card draw spell. So a lot to like there about blue. Wow, this black stack is huge. Let's see what we find. This I like the Skull Bombs in general because the floor is so low on these, right? The worst that's going to happen is they're going to cycle, and it's better than cycling for 2 mana because you get to spread it across 2 turns. So these can be quite good. This card's solid. If you're proliferating a lot, really good. 2-mana 1/3 that blocks on the ground for a while and then drains your opponent is awesome. Phyrexian Arena, incredible in draft. Just you draw 2 cards every turn. You're gonna beat your opponent. This is a fine card if you're trying to poison your opponent in black-green or white-black or something like that. If you have equipment lying around, it's okay. It's not like the best in every archetype, but it's really good in certain archetypes. Zombify. This card's okay. Zombifies are alright. I like it when Zombifies hit anyone's graveyard. I get a lot more excited about playing them as opposed to only my own. This does proliferate, which is nice. This is only really good if you're black-red sacrifice, probably. And it's pretty hard to make that deck work in sealed, but maybe. 3-mana 2/2 flyer. It's got upside on it too, but 3-mana 2/2 flyer is solid, and then the upside's great. Draw 2, lose 2, love a divination. Decent removal spell. It's still an edict. Your opponent will have stuff they can probably sacrifice to it, but you get a lot of control over what that is. Just like kind of a big boy, Sometimes you just need a 6-drop in your sealed deck, right? You just want to find some late game stuff and slam it. Another 3-mana 2/2, a decent combat trick. Another one of these Pestilent Siphoner's, another bad emergence. I think this card's pretty solid, especially if you're white-black corrupted, this card's great. So I'm seeing a lot here for white-black corrupted or corrupted strategy. Could also be blue-black with the right amount of proliferate. But you often have like a Might or something to throw away to get a 4-mana 6/6, so I like that fine. This card's good. It dies into a token, so I like this. Although I always think it flies. It doesn't fly. And yeah, this card's okay. It dies and draws you a card when it does. Okay, so black is a lot of potential. Black is not heavy on removal, which is interesting. That's something I usually expect from black. And there's like nary a removal spell to be seen in here, which is really unusual. Shoulder Dread's Edict, okay, we found one, but still it's pretty unusual. But the cards that I'm most excited about here are definitely the Phyrexian Arena, for sure. You get the Shoulder Dread's Edict, you get the 2 Infectious Inquiries for a bit of card advantage, and gives them poison to help turn on your corrupted. There's 2 or 3 Bone Picker Scourges. I think 2 Bone Picker Scourges. I like these cards a lot. 3-mana 2/2 flyers that eventually start Death Touch lifelinking. Vampire Nighthawk is great by all estimations, and this becomes that. So not unbelievable, but definitely solid. It's got a good rare flanked by some good flying, some good evasion. This Skull Bomb's kind of interesting. You really have to want to be able to doing the oil thing here, but the cost in the floor is so low. It's only 2 mana to sacrifice it, so when it's on, it's really good. The 4 mirrored equipment in general are great. 4 mana 4/2. I was not like anything super excited about, but the fact you can re-equip this is really nice. This is for the sack deck. It's okay. It's 3 mana 3/2 a lot of the time. Removal spell. It is a slow removal spell, but you can 2-for-1 someone if they've got a bunch of equipment lying around or 8 equipment lying around. Shock that upgrades. Love it. Another removal spell. Good combat trick. Just good old 5 mana, 5 minutes for each. Nothing to dislike here. This is a great one. 2 mana for basically a 2/2 first strike trampler that you can equip around. That's really solid. Another Furnace Spellbomb. 2 mana 2/2 that can kill off one of your opponent's artifacts. That's great. Slowbad. This ability is not going to be that strong and limited. So, on that ability alone, it's not that exciting. But ironically, 3 mana 3/3 is a card I will play in a lot of my limited decks. So, I guess Slowbad gets the pass there. Another combat trick. This card is a rock star. I mean, this is a bomb. It's a 5 mana 4/4 flying dragon with haste. Really good. And it can re-equip. So this is a very good reason to play red. And the fact that we have a lot of good-looking red stuff gets me pretty excited about it. And then Throw Possibility is always a fine card. So really like what I'm seeing there in red. Red and black both look pretty good. I've got this Kethic, which is, if nothing else, just a 4 mana 4/4 that might have other upside to do there. Also noteworthy, I've got this Black Cleave Cliff, so splashing is more possible if I wanted to. Let's see what green has to offer. Okay, Proliferate card. Solid fight spell. I like Ruthless Predation. The +1/+2 and then fighting is nice. Tyvar's Stand is a solid trick. Keep in mind you can always cast this for 1 mana to give something hexproof and indestructible. So there's a lot of flexibility there. +2/+2 in Vigilance. Proliferate, yeah, this card's fine. Not amazing, it's not weak. This card is good if you have oil, for sure. If you gain the 3 life, like 5 mana 3/4, gain 3 life, pretty medium. But if it cantrips and draws you a card, it's really nice. So that's good. 5 mana 4/4 Haste Toxic is excellent. This is a great green removal fight, or bite spell is what we call them. I guess it's in the name. So that's pretty good. 2 mana 2/2 with upside with oil. That's pretty nice. This Vorak is 3 mana 3/3 with upside, which is great. It probably draws you a land. 4 mana 4/3 that attacks as a 5/4. Great. Another 3 mana 3/3. Another 4 mana 5/4. This Scrap Gorger is pretty deceptive. 2 mana mana elf that over course of time becomes a 4/3. Excellent. Another pretty decent guy if you're attacking. It's okay. Another Oil Gorger Troll is good. And a Viral Spawn, which is another 3 mana 3/3. Wow, my green looks excellent. Well, okay, so I could feel like at this point I'm pretty much not going to be white. If my white was a little stronger, I might consider like black-white corrupted or something like that. But it's just not good enough to get there. It's really not. And even with Vivisection Evangelist and Rhea of War hitting out here, like they're great. This card is awesome. This card is awesome, but I think this is just too weak, so we're not going to end up playing white, which then also illuminates the Slaughter Singer. We could come back to it at the end. Prophetic Prism maybe in the right deck could get there, but I don't think it's going to happen. I did like my blue when I looked through it initially. There's a lot going on here. But I think that blue is probably just weaker than what I've got in these Jund colors in black, red, and green. So I'm gonna set my blue off to the side. I think I will probably not be coming back to my blue, which also then eliminates this Tainted Observer probably. The thing I feel the best about is this red. It's got removal spells, it's got some cheap tricks, it's got solid creatures, and it's got a bomb, which just gives me a lot of reason to want to go into it. So it's really about what's going to pair well with red, what's going to go better, the red or black. So what I often do in this situation is I will start by laying out my red cards and then lay out the other two colors and see which looks better to me. So I'm going to take these lands, set them aside. Yeah. Oh, I'm probably not going to play this Mirror Kinsmith, so I'm going to set that aside too. Okay. So let's just, I might play this Prophetic Prism, maybe. I might play some of these lands, but let's keep that up there. So start by laying this out. So the way I always like to stack my cards is I put the cards I'm going to play on the turn that I have that much mana on top, and then on the bottom I put cards that I'm not going to, unlikely to play on the turn I have that much mana. Like Hexgold Slash, for example, is a removal spell. It's probably not getting played on the first turn. Pretty uncommon to get played on the first turn. So let's see. Definitely like these 5-drops. I don't know that I want to play 2 Molten Rebukes, but I could see playing 1. And then Sealed, you kind of got to get what you get. Also, when you're sideboarding at a pre-release, you could sideboard in this Molten Rebuke if they're playing red-white equipment. If you can 2-for-1 them with it, it's pretty nice. I like this 1-mana combat trick a decent amount. And if we go red-green, the red-green oil strategy is nice. These spell bombs might actually be good with some of the oil stuff that's going on. Unclear, but once again, the cost of playing them is so low. So I'll put them out as a possibility. And once again, even though it's not a creature, I'm still putting it up here because I'm going to play it on the first turn, right? It costs 1 mana to play. It sneaks in there. Throw a possibility I'll set aside for now. I can always come back to it. And then maybe I end up playing this, okay? So really the marquee cards here are this removal spell, this Dragonwing Glider. I like this Resistant Skywarn a decent amount too. You get a 3/3, you get some solid 2-drops. It's not the best of all time, but it's not bad. I think that I just really like what the red offers me in terms of a bit of removal, combat tricks, and then this huge bomb rare. There's a lot going on here. It's above my threshold. So let's look at what green's got going on. So red-green oil is a solid strat. Let's lay out what our mana curve would look like. So I think we're gonna probably over-index on 3-mana 3/3s, ironically, which is great. I mean, I love a 3-mana 3/3, but I think this deck's going to have a bunch of them. Right, we've got 2 green removal spells here. If we want this, I don't think this deck's going to really want this Proliferate Spider, so I'm going to set it over to the side. This Oil Gorger Troll would be excellent for us. We played both these Lattice Blade Mantises. Here's another 2-drop. Here's this Tyrannix Atrocity, 5-mana 4/4 haste, toxic 3. We're a little overloaded on 5-drops right now. I might play this combat trick. I don't even think maybe I play these Adapt. I think I already have enough 3. I'd rather just have the 3-mana 3/3s. Maybe it's better than this Forge Hammer Centurion. I could imagine that's true. Right, you play a 2/2 Vigilance into yours. Maybe that's probably right. Set these off to the side. So how many cards is this? So you're looking for 23 playables. Once again, although I know with the 2 spell bombs, you could probably cut a land. I'm just curious how many cards this is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Is that 26? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, 26. Tale as old as time, you got to count your cards twice. So this is about 3 cards over. I'm not going to finish the build here because I want to see how it looks with red-black. Just talk through this build a little bit. A lot I like about it. The curve is solid. I wish I had like 1 more 2-drop, but you can't have everything, and Sealed especially. It's a little heavy on 5s. If I go to cutting, I probably will cut 1 of these 5-drops. 5/5 is just more than I really want in a deck. But the curve is pretty solid for Sealed. I've got 3 pretty good removal spells here. I've got some good combat tricks, a decent removal spell here. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I could also see cutting the slow, but this is better than slow bad. I could see that too. Anyway, okay, so here's the look at green, red. Let's move out the green for a second. And let's look at what red-black looks like and see if we like that any more or any less. So, laying it out like this. Now, these corrupted cards are going to be a lot worse in red-black, okay? So that's going to be something we got to keep in mind here. I don't really want to play these Pestilent Siphoners in red-black. It's kind of interesting because I don't think the strategies complement each other quite as well here. Like, in my kind of aggressive-y deck with equipment, like, these VAT emergencies are not that strong. This is good in a sacrifice deck, but it's really hard. Black-red sacrifice is an archetype that's just so hard to get to come together in a... Oh, no, I think I adjusted my light, and now you can't see my cards at all. All right, that's okay. Really hard to get together and sealed, and I don't think this is going to be the one. This card's solid. And these cards are medium. Yeah, it's tough because, I mean, I love the Phyrexian Arena, but this looks so much worse to me than the red-green deck. The red-green deck has synergy. It's got a much better mana curve. Okay, so one last thing I want to try. I pretty much identified these as my best three colors. I was really drawn in by this Dragonwing Glider, but like I said, you got to be careful about getting attached to bombs. So I'm going to just see what black-green looks like and see if that's a direction to go, potentially. I don't think you can really splash this with the red-red, but I'm going to see what black-green looks like here. See if there's a deck there. Black-green is focused on poisoning, so maybe I pick up some of those cards that were a little bit weaker before for me. So lay these back out. You get a couple good removal spells here. This proliferate guy maybe gets a little better. You're really jammed on threes. We'll probably not play all these black threes in. The Bone Picker Scourge is good though. Am I gonna have enough oil? Oh, this Furnace Spellbomb. Let's get out of here. You know, I didn't even count the red-black deck because I just think it's worse than the green-black deck. Right? I'm not gonna bother. I don't know if I have enough oil counters to play these oil gorger trolls, so I'm gonna leave them over here. Let's go back to the drawing board on black cards to play. Like maybe this makes the cut in this deck. These VAT emergencies get a little better with these 5-drops. Maybe you play one of those. You could talk about playing some of these Pestilent Siphoners. I don't love them, but they are good with the Bone Pickers, 2 Bone Picker Scourges, and you want to give them a couple poison counters early, so maybe we play some number of those. 3 is a little ambitious, but it's an option. You could also look at like these guys. See, this is what I'm talking about. So, even though my red isn't the deepest color in the world, it doesn't really matter how deep your color is because you can't play all these cards anyway. Like if I were to play all these cards, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 23, 24. It's 28 cards, right? I'm not going to get to play all these anyway. And the cards I'm cut are probably going to be black cards. I'm going to cut a bunch of 3-drops probably, which are probably going to end up being a lot of the black 3-drops. I've got Phyrexian Arena. But I think I do like what the red-green deck offers me the most. It's the most synergistic. It's got the most oil stuff going on. It's got a really strong rare. It's got an extra removal spell. Yeah, I think that we're gonna go back to the red-green deck. So let's take out all these black cards. Now we could talk about splashing a black card with the Black Cleave Cliffs if there's really something I wanted to splash. The problem is Sheoldred's Edict is really not good enough to splash here, and Phyrexian Arena is a black card, so there isn't something. I think we're just gonna be straight red-green. Okay, so here comes the 5-drop party again. Here comes this thing. Here come these. This, and this is back. And then so what I do at this point is once I've determined on my colors, I do one more pass through my cards to make sure there's nothing I'm missing. Like sometimes, as you're pulling cards over to the side, you're like, oh, I'm probably not going to play that. And then you end up being like later, like, oh man, I really wish I remembered about that card. So I'll put down, I don't even want to play 2 more Rebukes. I'll put down that in case it's better than something else I have. This is not really worth splashing. I don't need the Prophetic Prism for mana fixing. I don't need this. I'll probably end up playing this just because a land that cycles away is a totally solid thing to have in this format. And then, yeah, no, not playing any of these. Okay, so these are really my options here. And our goal is to get down to 23 cards, probably. If you're playing 2 Skull Bombs, you could imagine playing 16 lands, although this is a land that cycles anyway. So let's see. Let's do another count. I put more cards out here than I took the first time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 23. So we're 6 cards over right now. 5 cards over if you're going to play 16 lands. I hope you enjoy letting me count. Happens a lot when you're playing sealed. Okay, so now what I normally do, I'm going to process. I've laid out my deck. I've laid out all the cards I might play. What I do is something kind of interesting. So this is like putting everything on the table, seeing what it's all out here. What I do next is I pull back the cards that I'm not sure about, and then I'll be able to figure out how many playables I get out of those. So I'm gonna pull back both these Skull Bombs. I'm gonna pull back this Copper Longlegs for sure. I think I'm pretty sure about playing all of these though. Pull back these creatures. I want to play all the 3-mana 3/3s, but these are all still maybe, or no, all the 3-mana 3/3s with abilities. This one's a pretty big maybe for me. Want to play all these. I think it's a good chance I should cut one of these 5s. Maybe it's the Sky Warden if I do. And then Molten Rebuke is a maybe. I'm pretty sure I want Tyvar Stand. I could imagine not playing these. I could imagine not playing these. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So I get 6. So now I've got this, like, I don't know, bank of cards I get to look at. I get to play 6 of these cards, maybe 7, if I'm feeling the 16 land plan. So now I'm looking at these, and I get to play 7 of these 12 cards. So I really start thinking, okay, well, I got to fill in my curve. I'm definitely going to want some more 3-drops. Probably want at least 1, if not 2 more 3-drops. Who's it going to be? I think I do just want the 3/3 for the lasting impact. There's plenty of 2-power stuff running around here, so I'm going to play this Slow Bad. He's basically just a 3-mana 3/3, but that's fine. Now, I have enough oil going on in this deck that I think I can justify playing this and then helping me get in. So I think I do like this Forge Hammer Centurion. And then I think I'm going to pass these Adaptive Spore Singers. Yeah, I think let's leave them off to the side for now. Leave them off here for now. I think this Furnace Spellbomb might end up being really good for me. There's enough stuff here that wants me to keep loading it up with oil counters, and the cost of playing these is so low. Plus, if I play 2, I'm pretty sure I can cut a land. So I'm going to play 2 because it's really only like taking up 1 land slot. An old trick from original Mirrodin is if you play 2 Spell Bombs, you can cut a land, and I think that's probably true here. I'm not going to play this Copper Longlegs. I want 2-drops, but not that bad. I think I want to play at least 1 Free from Flesh, just to have a combat trick here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22. So I get 2 more of these, huh? I don't think I want another 5-drop. I do like the Resistance Sky Warden. 5-mana, 5/5 Menace is really nice, but I just think it's worse than the 4/5 drops I have, right? It's definitely worse than the Glider. I think I'd rather have 4/4 Haste over 5/5 Menace Reach. Although if my opponent's having on flyers, I would sideboard this in. And the Oil Gorger Troll is 5-mana, 3/4 draw a card. I think would rather have over the Sky Warden. So I think the Sky Warden's going to hit the bench. I think I will want to. This is another 5-drop though. Oof. I think I want to play this Tyvar Stand just as a 1-mana trick, and its base mode of Indestructible. It's really nice. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is 23. I think I do want to play 16 lands in this deck. So I think it's not going to be Molten Rebuke. I have got 3 solid removal spells. This one is a clunker, and I have 4 5-drops already. It's going to be some of these. Which one of these do you think I should play? The extra combat. I have 2 combat tricks already. This is a really good one for my deck, though. With, let's see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards that care about having oil counters on them. This one wants me to have oil counters. I got the Furnace Spellbomb already, though. I really want to curve a 2-drop into a 3-drop. This Proliferate's going to be good with the oil counters. All right, I'll play Adaptive Spore Singer. I'll buy it. I think it's pretty close to me, honestly, about playing this other Adaptive Spore Singer over Slowbad. But I think I'd rather have the 3/3 on the creature as opposed to the Proliferator +2/+2. It's pretty close, though. I could imagine a world where I walk down a different path. This Viral Spawn is not going to get flashbacked often, but even just if I can do it sometimes, right? I can maybe hit it with a Chernix Atrocity or something. It's going to be worth doing. So I'm not going to play the second Spore Singer here. I'm not going to play this Molten Rebuke, although I will definitely sideboard this in if they're an equipment deck. I don't want to get clogged on 5-mana cards. This Free from Flesh, I'm pretty close on. It's possible it's better than one of these 3-drops. These 1-mana combat tricks are just so valuable, and the fact it puts 2 oil counters on my creatures can really, really, like, imagine, you start off with like an Armored Scrap Gorge and you get this active really quickly, right? It just becomes a really strong attacker, But yeah, I think this is what we're gonna try. This is what I would try. I'd play 16 lands. I'd play this Autonomous Furnace. I would probably split them exactly, 8 and 8. So that'd be 8 forests, 7 mountains, because you have the Autonomous Furnace. And you're gonna be pretty low to the ground. Just trying to play a 2-drop and a 3-drop, attacking. You only have 4 2-drops, so hopefully you draw one every game. But yeah, that's how I build this deck. What do you think? Would you have built it a different way? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm curious to hear about it. And look at that. Basically, right on the nose, more or less, 30 minutes. Thank you all for watching here. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoyed the sealed deck build, and have fun in your pre-release this weekend. I'll talk with you again soon. And in the meantime, may you find just the limited deck you're looking for. You got this.